Greetings, acolytes. Hello.
Hello,
We're
hello,
here.
everyone. Yeah, we are. That is true. We have made it here. We are alive. We are active. It feels so odd to be on right now at a Sunday. It's really strange how quickly you adapt to a different schedule, but I've missed being here with everyone. Look at it. Look at y'all.
It's more weird being here and not like starting a show.
Yes,
It's like
that's
just
true.
hello, we are here. We're doing
We're just
stuff
here.
now. We're
It's
just
very low key. That's not how we do
what's
things.
what's good? What's up, Pro Topics? How you doing, guys? Guys, we are
Oh, that's right.
live everywhere right now.
I forgot that. Hey.
Everywhere. Kick, YouTube, Twitch, despite what the rules are, we don't care. Forget the rules. Whatever. Do you want to start or should I start?
Yeah, so I'll be happy to start. I'm really excited one that we get to have this little meetup in the middle of things. Obviously, right now we're between seasons, and the reason we wanted to have this little meet and talk is because we're changing things up as we go into season 5. Obviously, if you caught some of the extra story of Vythorn's return, you know there's going to be some leadership change, of course, in the storyline and what's coming in from that. But we also, before we want to get into it, talk about some of the changes that you've already seen a little bit happening in the conversations on Twitter, especially surrounding the space of Twitch. And will we be on Twitch? Right, Mudcat? Did I
Yeah.
tee that up
No, yeah,
perfectly?
I think that's good.
I
Uh
know it is.
yeah. I don't think it's any surprise to people that there's a lot of back and forth about Twitch and everyone's talking about Kick right now and this and that and everybody's it's like a
Mhm.
cycle that happens every few years where Twitch does something incredibly stupid and then there's a new platform out that people want to try out and
Yeah.
um so I think first off we need to just say that our goal with the show and with our channels is just to make good content and to put that in a place where it can be successful, and where we can be successful and to get the most amount of eyes on it that we can possibly get on it because that helps us,
Mhm.
that helps build a community, and we don't have any platform loyalty, as far as I'm concerned. These platforms are businesses, and when they aren't providing good services, then sometimes you have to make adjustments to
Mhm.
something that's gonna fit your needs better. So I suppose we'll start with just the ripping the band-aid off is that season 5 live streams, so brand new episodes airing, will only be airing on YouTube. So if you have not subbed on YouTube yet, and you want to watch and join us live, we will be there Sunday nights 9 p.m. On YouTube live.
Mhm.
We are in the process of getting reviewed for monetization for YouTube because we hit the 1,000 subs and the 4,000 hours.
Thank you
Um,
to all of you.
yes, thanks to everybody who subbed. And so you will be able to, if you choose to sub on YouTube, I think it's called joining on YouTube. You join the community. It'll be a similar model to Twitch. We'll also be able to receive super chats and direct tips and things like that. Um, and so all of that is going to be the big change. Now, we will be on every platform, though. That being said, we don't think it's in our benefit to tie ourselves to any one platform. So the 24/7 streams will go on Twitch. They will be available on Kick. So if you're into the new Kick platform, we need like 30 more followers over there to get monetized. So we'll be monetized there if people want to sub there. So wherever you want to watch
Yeah.
for previous content, and the new episodes will be pushed into the live stream reruns every week. So if you don't want to come to YouTube, you can still hang out 24/7 on Twitch, and you will catch the new episodes when you catch them, I suppose. But that's the big change here. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yes. So part of it is knowing that YouTube is another platform that we have to get used to and how are things working. And as we figure it out, we promise we'll let you know as well. Because while we've reached the benchmark both in actual subscribers on YouTube and in follower viewer hours, which is fantastic. First of all, thank you all so freaking much for helping us hit it. Mudcat kind of mentioned it, but I really want to hype it because obviously, while it's really nice that YouTube can now give us these certain standards, this is also really important for us to celebrate as a community because
Hmm.
cheers, right? We're growing. And it's fun to see the acolyte community grow to what it is. It's exciting. It means that we get to tell more stories, more of you get to be involved. And I'm so excited to see how this continues to grow. We will not be streaming on OnlyFans. Well, D20 is
Mm,
not. Mudcat,
well, we'll
possibly.
we'll see. That does bring up
Yes.
a point though. In terms of the 24/7 reruns and getting eyes on the channel and growing.
Mhm.
At some point, we will be trying to stream those things to TikTok, to Instagram, anywhere that accepts live platforms that we can multicast to. Is something we're going to do. We don't really see any
Yeah.
benefit to not growing our community wherever our community wants to be.
Mhm.
So we just want to do our live shows on one platform, so that way everyone can come together in one place at one time for Sundays.
Yes, yes. So there is a chance Mudcat can have an OnlyFans to recap, correct? And also for our focus, we would like to really push the effort on any live events. Recordings, all of that stuff will be everywhere else, but push mostly on YouTube. We're going to be really trying to do a concerted effort there. And the reason for that is while we can also have certain things also live on other platforms as well, and we're going to take advantage of that, it's also because we want to feel like we have a community that feels connected. And it's hard to feel connected if like half the community is on TikTok, half of them are on Kick, some of them are on YouTube. And I want you all to also see, recognize, and to have this space that we all have together, especially because not everyone also has the Discord on top of it. So, where we can, it's great to build that cohesiveness. But in terms of trying to garner more viewers and building and doing reach out awareness campaigns on this, that's why we're doing a bit of the shotgun approach. We're also putting our eggs in the YouTube basket right now because YouTube has a little bit more of a firm grounding at this point. It's a platform that even with poor choices, will be sticking around a lot longer, even in terms of competition, because YouTube is so competitive in what it is and so varied. It's not just in the live streaming space, for example. That's what allows it to have a little bit more security in that space versus what we see with Twitch or Kick or, since we got burned on Mixer.
Yeah.
Still hurts. It still hurts.
Yeah.
Those wounds have never healed.
Well, and things are gonna be, we're not adhering to YouTube in a strict sense necessarily. If things change and a different situation becomes better, we'll reevaluate when that time comes. If someday Twitch allows simulcasting and they give decent sub splits and they increase discoverability, if then maybe Twitch is a place for us to bring live streams back at some point. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe YouTube is just the place. So we're gonna play that by ear. But for now, we're gonna give this a try and hopefully everyone's subbed on the YouTube and won't be too inconvenienced by coming over there. Obviously, if you are, then you can just watch on the other platforms, and that's okay too. So make sure. I think the point here though is that we'll kind of be flexing and moving around as need be over the next several years to better serve our content and where we feel like we can have a better community. And so just make sure you're following everywhere. Come follow us on Kick. Come follow us on Twitch. Come follow us on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram or wherever else. Um, and soon we'll have those emotes over on YouTube. So I know that's the biggest complaint over there. Um, and there's
Ah,
and also UI
why?
wise, you may not be familiar with the YouTube live UI, but there are some plugins that you can get for like Chrome and things to kind of make it a little bit more familiar. If that's a huge deal to you, although I don't think the UI is that bad on YouTube. I kind of like it, to be honest. It's simple,
Ugh,
so
it's simple.
it's simple.
And if need be, as we get the features, we'll talk a little bit about it. If need be, we could just do a 1 hour pre-season 5 where we all set up our YouTube streaming
Yeah.
to test it and make sure that we're comfortable on here and just to do a walkthrough, right? New experiences, moving our community over, just like as we move houses or apartments or wherever we are, it's a little bit easier when you've got a group doing it together. So we can explore that, or if you've got questions or tips to make your experience a little bit nicer over on YouTube, feel free to start sharing those out in the Discord now as we all start to learn, yeah, the new arena.
Yeah, and all that. Yeah, just to reiterate for people who came in a little late, we are moving our live shows. So Sunday nights when season 5 starts, live shows will be exclusively on YouTube, but our 24/7 reruns will be on every other platform. So if you want to come join us live, you can do that on YouTube. If you're comfortable chilling in the reruns, then you can chill in the reruns. So I think that. Yeah, I know it's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea, but that's just where we're at.
The
That's
fact that you would say Facebook gaming is better than YouTube.
yeah, okay, that's interesting. Well, men of a
Come
certain
on.
age, you know what I mean?
Of all platforms, it is not the worst one.
Oof. In any case,
I'm just
it's
on
it's
fire.
it's driven by a lot of factors. The discoverability of YouTube is incredible. Um, Full transparency, for subs and things like that, we'll be better able to support our channel because we will get a 70-30 split of subscriptions over on YouTube versus a 50-50 split from Twitch, and we'll get better ad revenue on YouTube. And folks that watch over on Kick, if that's your thing, we'll get 95% of sub revenue. So, um, stability wise for us growing the channel and doing things that we're doing in the background to maybe promote the channel. We're going to be making a big push this year to really promote the channel in ads and things, and really get some notoriety going for the channel if we can, in addition to doing things like live shows and all that in order to kind of get that out there. Speaking of live shows, we'll be at GCX here in Orlando in August. So if you all are coming to GCX in Orlando, you should come watch the show. We'll be there.
Yes.
Day 1, 10:30 a.m. I already know the time.
And I want to take a small moment to talk about Twitch because you all have seen the conversations that are happening on Twitter or Twitch and their announcements. Maybe they send things out in newsletters or in other Discords and whatnot. And I know, especially in viewers, right? At times we don't always have to think about like, how do my subs go? But ultimately, it's a real great kindness if you sub to the stream on
Mhm.
Twitch, right? Those are your dollars. And when it comes down to it, you're choosing to support the creator. And when Twitch takes a good chunk of it, it just doesn't feel like that's meeting the intentionality that you as the subscriber had with your dollars. And so when we move to a platform like YouTube or even Kick split on that end, it feels much more genuine and authentic to what you as a subscriber who is giving money to not only the platform, but to us, right? And the program that we've been developing and the community that we have here, it feels more true to your intentions. So we also view that as a responsibility on our end because staying on Twitch would be easier. We don't have to redo anything. We don't have to figure out, Kristen, because I think you bring up a good point of what we do want to talk about is also like how hero points work and all of the community involvement that we've
Mhm.
had before. It would be easier in many ways for us to stay on Twitch. But knowing that this is another way in which you all contribute and show support, we want to make sure that that also carries through in the way that you all want it to.
Yeah.
Right, Mudcat?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, these are some of the pains you have to go through when the platforms are being, I wish Twitch would pay out a better revenue split. I wish that they would build in discoverability features, because that's honestly one of the bigger issues, is that there's a limit to how much you can be discovered on Twitch because they don't have things like an algorithm that show clips. And Kick is just an advertisement for their gambling site. Hey, listen, whether or not Kick will be here in 12 months or not is really not a concern to us at this point. It's more about the fact that we're going to take advantage of every possible place that we can push our content out. If there are people on that platform that would enjoy our content, we're going to bring our content to them. So if you disagree with the platform, these platforms are all run by corporations or people who are out to make money. Um, that's the reality of it. So we'll
Sure.
you know we're gonna put our content where it can be seen, and if that's not the place for you, then our content will be on another place that you do vibe with.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Stoker asked over on YouTube as well. Patreon is still the best return for us, Mudcat?
so yeah, Patreon is a very good return for us. It's roughly a 90% return. For that, I think we haven't necessarily discussed this as much, but
Mhm.
Discord has also created some tools that are
Yeah.
basically like Patreon, where you can create tiers of subscriptions and then give access to certain channels in the Discord. And that may be something we explore in terms of like a Patreon replacement, because it will be
Mhm.
built into our Discord where everyone already is, and it won't be an extra step to like go and do all this stuff. But for now, Patreon is that split, and if we do decide to make that change for you guys that are sub to Patreon, we'll make sure to give plenty of heads up. That way, um, you all get the value out of that. We're trying to put more early access stuff up. I'm trying to get a lot of lore videos out, and things like that, so that way you all are getting some value for that Patreon as well, because we really appreciate you all getting the being over there.
Mhm.
Um, Yes. But in any case, whether you come to YouTube and it's a 70/30, or it's Kick, or it's even if it's Twitch, like, wherever you want to support is fine. Like, we're
Yeah.
not going to tell you what to do with your money. Um and
If you have
especially,
any questions on any of the breakdowns, you can always ask us. You're like,
yeah.
if you don't want to do the effort of researching, like, hey, is this platform better? Is that platform better? Totally understandable, because you don't have to manage any of these. And if you just want us to give you a little guidance, we can help you on that. Be like, hey, here's how Patreon rolls. Here's how Discord rolls. Here's Twitch and Kick and all of the things in terms of what we know as risk and security. But ultimately, yeah, as Mudcat said, it is absolutely your choice.
Yeah, yeah. So again, just follow us everywhere that if whatever platforms you're on, follow us on that platform, cuz we'll be there.
Mhm.
Um you can always mail us a check. I mean, you can if you want. We got a PO box. Uh, um, in terms of, I want to go back to the chaos events and the interactivity and stuff like that. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for the box of chaos as of yet.
Yeah.
Um, that's something we have to talk about, and in the second half of this stream, we'll kind of let you know why that's up in the air about things. In terms of chaos events, though, those will continue to be. Those will just move to YouTube. That chaos meter will get filled by super chats, or direct tips. It will get filled by people, subbing, joining to our community on YouTube. So
Mhm.
that chaos meter will be filled in a similar way. Um, Obviously, there's no channel points over there, so we got some things that are changing. So hero points will be a little bit of a change that we do this season, and then the box of chaos will still be around, but we'll have to figure out how we want to trigger that, and we haven't discussed it as much yet. So
It's also trying to learn what new tools we might have through YouTube
yeah,
in this to be able to bring over that same kind of energy. And even if we have to find an alternative where one of us is still monitoring chat, it is a priority for us to maintain acolyte participation, because in our game style, we view that as one of the key parts that sets our table apart, is that how much influence our acolytes are. Because the acolytes, like you all, right? Our viewers aren't just people who are watching a story. You all are part of the story. You are characters in the story, right? And yeah, right, the hero points are always like a given, but that's because you all were really great about it. We're as terms for suggestions, Mudcat and I are always open.
yeah,
We'll share with you first what we've got a few things planned, because we're changing a few other things also for season 5 to be called out here in a hot minute. But I think you all are going to be really excited, and that might help tailor as to how we can make this work. So, absolutely, yes.
yeah. If you have a suggestion, feel free to throw it out. It'll be interesting. I think once you all see what the other stuff we're doing, that you will. I don't think it'll be as big of a deal. We're still going to always find ways for you all to participate, and whether that is, in ways that are not just monetarily, because we want to just, have fun and have you guys be participating, whether you're, subbing or tipping or whatever. Like, we want it to be fun for everyone. Gifted
West
subs on
Wolfast, yeah.
YouTube's gifted subs. I believe YouTube does have gifted subs now, actually. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they implemented that earlier this year. We'll have to go back to the drawing board on that, and if not, then that'll be what it is. There are super chats on YouTube which don't exist on I believe they have gifted subs now, but there are super chats on YouTube, a way to highlight your chat message by tipping directly, that don't exist on Twitch. I mean, obviously the closest thing would be bits. So yeah, so I think it's something that they've rolled out, and really YouTube's been making some strides. Their UI is still not my favorite, but they've been making some strides on really kind of getting parity with the core like cultural things that you need.
Yes.
Yeah, super chats.
So there are
kinda like
gifted bits and there are super chats that are like bits. And to Ombat's point, as a little reminder, I'm not sure if it's possible to connect it, but Lady Magdala also called this out earlier. If you are watching us over on YouTube and you haven't liked our video yet, that would be incredibly helpful. And it does help out our overall views and telling the algorithm that, hey, not only are you spending time watching the content, but you also like the content. So there's another way in which you can help us out tonight.
Right, and now that we're going to be monetized on YouTube, also just watching the full ad at the beginning of the videos, boom, that's another free way to do it if you want. Or at least I think it's like first like 5 seconds before you skip the ad, at least, something like that. In any case, okay, before we move on to so these were big changes, right? These are very big changes.
You want to recap any of those just for clarity?
Yeah,
or would you
I
like
can.
Me to?
You can recap while I read chat.
Okay, few key things. One is that we're primarily streaming our live on YouTube. Is it going to be active in other places like Kick? Yes. Channels like Twitch are just going to be hosting our reruns from here on out. Any new live shows that we have will be added into the rotation from there on out, but Twitch will not be a live hosting station for us anymore. We'll also be figuring out as we move into YouTube how we can move D20 Deathmatch and the gameplay that we have, especially the audience interaction, as we find out. So, details like how bits and subs and channel hero points all play in will continue to be part of the conversation. We'll keep you informed as we do it. And of course, we want to make sure that as you all support us, that we're also transparent within how it's coming to us. And so that way, platform security, financial decisions behind all that as well.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah, and I guess this is kind of our last live stream on Twitch for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Forever.
For maybe
No,
ever. I don't know.
Forever, ever.
Probably not, but
Maybe.
yeah, and honestly, the Olmbat, that's a great idea. Having the box of chaos be tied to how many likes the video gets. I don't know if that's something we can automate, but we can
watch it.
Look at it.
I got eyeballs.
Pecan,
2 of them.
Pecan, it's okay. More. The 24/7 stream will continue to run on Twitch. It's just our live shows on Sunday nights will be moving over to YouTube. But if you want to come watch the reruns and hang out with us on Twitch, we'll be here in the chat and still active. It's just that we're going to be moving our live shows over to YouTube.
And if you didn't know, we're live on YouTube right now. Some of our wonderful community members are already hanging out over there. Thank you. I appreciate it. It says we've got 8 watching over there, and 8 of you have liked it as well. So thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. We're also going to be on Kick with those 24/7 reruns as well. How will ad revenue work for people who have YouTube Premium? We get credit for YouTube Premium when people when you have YouTube Premium and you watch a video, it factors that in and gives the channel credit for that. So yeah, we'll still collect revenue even if you have YouTube Premium. And YouTube Premium is a great deal. You get like freaking what do you get? You get
I have no idea.
I don't know. You get a bunch of stuff. You get a bunch of stuff for YouTube Premium. That's honestly pretty dope. I love YouTube Premium. Okay. All right. So I wanted to, now that we've kind of recapped and had that, I think we want to take time. I know you've already asked some questions, but more questions before we move on. Does anybody have any burning questions?
Gator did ask if personal streams will be moving to YouTube Live as well. I'll be honest, I'm real nervous about it. It is a consideration. Mudcat?
For me, guys, I don't really stream too much anymore on my personal channel. I would like to get back to it. I would like to get back to it. I have thought about moving my stuff over to YouTube, since Twitch for me is mainly a Sea of Thieves audience, and I don't really do Sea of Thieves anymore. I also have thought about going over and exploring Kick a little bit, just to see what's up there. I think if I make a move for my personal stuff, it probably will be to YouTube. But I'm not in a hurry to do that. So for now, I'll probably still be on Twitch. But if you want to come over to YouTube and follow Mudcat and you want to follow Caustic Phoenix over there on YouTube as well, where you can find us. You might have to search for Mudcat TV for me, and it might take some doing looking for her as well.
Yes, it's just Caustic Phoenix. So
Yeah.
if you look with your looking eyes, you'll find it. And I think that's a fair consideration. On mine, it is something that is worth considering at this point, but in terms of the effort and the outcome of what that will mean and what that looks like, unfortunately, it can't take priority of my time right now. As important as it is, and it won't be that much effort eventually just to move over to YouTube, but in things that I can kind of switch up in my professional life right now, that's one thing that's taking a small back burner at this moment. When we do, we'll probably do a slight little restreaming where we do on both platforms for a little while until we have the opportunity to make the full move. So it'll probably be like 1 week where we're on both platforms until we make the formal move over on that end. We'll probably look at that somewhere on the fall that aligns with season 5 as well.
Yeah.
If you are curious though, I do be posting shorts over there. All those little shorts. I haven't posted one today because I'm terrible.
Yeah, so I put the links in the chat there for YouTube and Twitch, guys. If you wanna follow Caustic or me over on YouTube, in case we ever decide to make that jump on our personal channels, then you'll already know. Okay, so now for the really important news. If you thought that the important news was what we already talked about, if there's no more questions, then let's see. Sorry, I was reading back through chat here real quick. Yeah, I saw, you guys have already been like killing it in the Twitch chat. And honestly, we've had a lot of good people, a lot of good raids and people coming into Twitch. Our Twitch is actually starting to grow. So it's a weird time for us to kind of make this decision. I know probably looks weird. But at the end of the day, I just, it comes down to the fact that we don't believe that Twitch has our best interests in mind. Not that any company really does, because they're companies, but I think comparatively, they just are tone deaf a little bit in how they deal with creators, and so we're just not feeling it. So that's the main takeaway there, I think. Okay, do you want to tell them the big news, or should I tell them the big news?
I got this. Let me tee you up for this.
Okay.
So in this little hiatus that we've been taking between season 4 and season 5, we're doing a pretty big switch up as we go into our big end of the 2023 season. And part of that is a lot of effort that Mudcat's been doing, right? Making sure all of our ducks are in order. Some of you have seen a number of the lore videos that have come out as well, making sure that our content is kind of aligned and who we're bringing in and how we prep people. And also, of course, us doing a lot of thought of what is the game that we're playing and how do we allow that to be conducive for new players, old players, and the type of gameplay that we want to have. So Mudcat has been leading the efforts on launching an actual D20 Deathmatch game. Mudcat, go for it.
We'll moving forward, at least for season 5, and maybe...
Tell them what it's called, you ding dong.
I will get there. At least for season 5, we will be playing a brand new TTRPG of our creation called D20 Deathmatch Champions of Chaos. And we're very excited. It is a PvP focused game build that simultaneously lets us balance PvP a little bit better, while also retaining our freedom to RP, and to flavor things. So it will really be a kind of a combination of what we already do. I don't think a lot will change in terms of how the show necessarily will feel to you all. There will definitely be some mechanical changes to it. So, but D20 Deathmatch Champions of Chaos. D20 Deathmatch cock. Yes, I know.
Yes. Yes, he was purposeful about that.
I was very purposeful in that. Yes. So Champions of Chaos will be a PvP focused game. And it will free up our hands a lot because we've been playing a D&D 5e based game, but the reality is we homebrew it so much, and we constantly have to make judgment calls. Even we even have to be inconsistent week after week because the situations just change.
And it also is restrictive to the players themselves. When
Yeah.
they read certain builds of like, this is the subclass of monk, then it continues to be the same interpretation over and over. Like, how many times do we see like the same kind of barbarian coming through on this end? And so when we break those molds and we don't have to follow like strict spell slots and rules around those items, it gives the players a lot more free range to say, come up with first your character concept and then create, of course, what you want to do, instead of feeling like you have to choose a class, a subclass, and then from these abilities try to form it and morph it into something that works for a one shot, which is a lot of effort to ask of individuals.
Yeah. So and that's the consideration for us. How do we get people in easier, and how do we make it more fair, quote unquote fair and consistent? Even though we're writing the game, we'll still be modifying it in pieces that fit our show. There'll be components. So this will be a game that you all will be able to play if you want. It'll be an actual TTRPG. It is a very rules light, almost OSR esque type of style. You'll be able to grab it and download it and play it at home with just two people, or two people in a DM, or honestly, we haven't tried it yet, but you may be able to run it as like a battle royale. I think it'll work that way too.
We are going to play test it tonight for you all. This will be our fourth play test.
Yeah, I think our fourth play test. We've got a couple of
Three and a half.
We've got a couple of play tests we did the other night that are recorded. Will be out eventually, featuring the Short Nord and the Endless Chad, as well as Caustic and myself. So be looking forward to some playtest videos as we wanted to bring those guys back since they helped us playtest D20 Deathmatch originally. So now they are at the forefront of Champions of Chaos as well. So it'll be really cool. I think you guys are gonna like it. We're gonna do a playtest tonight. We're gonna walk through all the rules and show you everything. Eventually you'll be able to get this for free. I didn't know if we mentioned that, but it will be for free. It'll be kind of not necessarily a one sheet. It'll be like 2 or 3 sheets, but it'll be a for free game, which will be available on our website, as we're also working to revamp our website. So, August is the official release date around GCX, is what we're shooting for. And so you will be able to play it for free. We are going to continually add to it and add additional optional rules and expand the game as we go. And so base game will be free, and then we will probably sell additional add-ons. Anything that we kind of modify or add to the game later on will be probably kind of like a DLC situation. But base
Pretty
game,
similar to what you might find on Drive Through RPG.
yeah. So base game will always be free. We want people to be able to play it and get it in their hands. And we haven't talked about this, but I'm sure it will always be creator friendly. We'll come up with a license, so anybody who wants to stream it and use it in their games. One thing we didn't mention is that it's designed to be an agnostic system, so you can play the game with literally one D20, or 2 D20s if you want to use one for each player. You will you can play it with just a D20. You can play it as a standalone game, or you can insert these rules display into your D&D game, into your Pathfinder game as like a subset of a secondary set of rules, like a game within a game. So if you wanted your players, you got 2 players that want to fight in your campaign, it's a pretty quick set of rules. It can be learned in about 15 minutes. And boom, now you can use this secondary rule set within your regular system, whatever system you're playing. It really doesn't matter. Or you can do it as a standalone game. So
We are working to make it digital. Print, of course, will be the easiest when we already have it mocked up. We haven't ran it through a design feature yet at this point. So what you'll see tonight is very rough drafts as we're putting it through. And then, yes, the idea is on the website that you could just on there have your digital version, and you can use that as your character sheet there as well. And we'll have both versions for website and or laptop, PC, and also for mobile too.
yep, and we will we'll have a colored version, and also I have a grayscale version already made for those of you who are colorblind or just don't like colors. We're easy printing.
We hate colors.
Yeah, so we've kind of tried to think of everything in terms of how this will run, at least everything we can right now. So a lot of work going in on the back side of this. So let's switch over here to the rules, and we can start going through the rules and kind of teaching you all tonight how we play before we do like a little play test.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the biggest things that I really like that is for sure guaranteed in Champions of Chaos. I keep wanting to call it Cock now, and I can't do that. One of the best things about Cock is that it is using a D20. A lot of our favorite systems and one cheaters that we were playing with involved 6-sided dice or 2 of them in that case. And while it's great, right? It's simple. It plays things out really well. There's nothing more satisfying than rolling a nat 20 or getting a nat 1. A 6 and a 1 don't have the same kind of energy. So that was one of our sticklers to make sure that when we brought this to life, this was a must have.
Yeah. And that's it's also, we can't be a show called D20 Deathmatch and have everybody rolling D6s. So that's just not going to work. So we this is designed to be a D20 system. And hopefully we're going to have this launch. We hope people will like it, and we'll want to obviously purchase the add-ons later on. But if there's enough interest for a physical book at some point, maybe that's something we could Kickstarter way in the future, or whatever, an expanded book. So we're kind of taking it one step at a time, just getting some basic stuff done, and then we'll add to it, and it will grow over time. So
I just want to call out Chad a little bit. Got to use the biggest die when playing Cock. Though for some of you, your wife says that a D4 is more than enough to play Cock.
No. You need a D8 at least. Average but fine.
No comment. Anyway, yes, Mudcat, go ahead and run us through then this Champions of Chaos sheet.
All right.
The one sheeter.
One sheeter here. So I know this will not all make sense necessarily just reading through it once, but as we play test it here afterwards, hopefully it will be easy to understand. It's not a complicated game. So basically in this game system, you are the champion and you have 3 stats. Your 3 stats are Bloodlust, Metal, and Instinct. So Bloodlust,
not metal.
Yeah, like so Bloodlust being your kind of physical prowess, your attack modifiers and things like that. Metal being your mental and physical fortitude, and then Instinct is kind of what it sounds like, how adept you are at adapting and planning and things like that. So the system uses these three attributes with a 6-point point buy system. So no stat can be above a +4, and no stat can be below a +1. So you can have a 3-2-1, you can have a 4-1-1, you can have a 2-2-2, and that's about the only combination of stats you can have. So you just pick using that point buy system, and those scores impact your attack, defense, and actions. Actions, you get a certain number of actions, 1 plus your instinct. You can use those to attack, to clear status effects, to gain fighting spirit, which is effectively your health, clear fatigue, or use a heroic surge. More on the heroic surge in a second. Or you can do reactionary things like hide, run. If you choose to do a reactionary type of action in your turn, and you use one or more actions, then you will impose disadvantage on your opponent's turn. Basically, for every action you use as a reactionary, like a hiding or whatever, you will impose subsequent disadvantages on their next attacks. Your attack modifier in the game is just your bloodlust. So whatever you choose for your bloodlust, that's what you're rolling to hit. Your defense. This is an interesting game because this is a contested rolling game. Every time someone attacks you, you will roll to defend. So it's not an AC situation. So your defense is your metal modifier. So they roll a D20, you roll a D20 every time. You might roll a 3, they might roll a 2, and they still hit. So it's makes every roll really kind of exciting. More dice rolling, more chances to have these big moments, these nat 20s. Moving on, your fighting spirit, as I mentioned earlier, is your health. It starts at 15 plus your metal modifier. You can have a maximum of 20 health, or maximum of 20 fighting spirit, and if you get to 0, you're dead. Fighting spirit, you should think about it more as less of like health and more of like a physical and mental thing. Like how willing are you to keep fighting? Your morale as well as your physical well-being. This QR code down here is oh, sorry, I gotta move the thing. The QR code here at the bottom, don't pay any attention to that. That will eventually be our website where you can access DLC and stuff like that. Moving on. Actually, I'm gonna come to chaotic events last, so we're gonna go back up to the top. Sorry.
Wow, just whiplash us through this.
You have these actions, your instinct plus one plus your instinct. But you have, this is the game is designed to also kind of be reminiscent of, like, say something like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or like a fighting game. So the way you can kind of beef up your attacks and things is with multipliers. So we have 3 different multipliers in the game. You have status effects, you have power-ups, and then you have your heroic surge, which is taking the place of our hero point. Champions will start with their heroic surge from the beginning. So you can use these in conjunction with an attack. You get 3 status effects, 2 power-ups, 1 heroic surge. That's just across the board for everybody. You have to call them before you roll, and they can be stacked. So I can stack a heroic surge, 2 power-ups, and 3 status effects on an action, and use all of my uses of these things in one hit if I want. So that's kind of how it is. So status effects, I know it's getting long-winded here, but status effects are things like bleeding, breaking, poisoning, blinding. In our game, they all are the same. It comes down to flavor. So when you make an attack and you've declared you're also adding a status effect, you deal 1 fighting spirit of damage per successful attack. And then if you've added a status effect, that is one more point against a fighting spirit. And so however you describe it doesn't really matter, whether you poison them or you make them bleed or you break their leg or you fart straight up their nose and make
That's
them,
my classic move. Don't call it out.
make them cry with poison. Whatever you decide to do, it's all about, this leaves our game open to a lot of flavor, a lot of interpretation. We're just leaving the base mechanics basic. Status effects also will carry over round to round. If you don't use an action to clear a status effect, you will take one, you'll lose a fighting spirit at the end of your turn. So until you clear that status effect, that's going to be ongoing. Power-ups are a way to kind of go kind of a Kaioken times 20. It replaces your base damage of 1 fighting spirit, and basically you do a 3x. You do 3 points of damage instead. So those can be stacked on and stacked up. Just you have 2 uses of those, and then you have your heroic surge, 1 use. And so this can replace your base damage. This can do a lot of things. It can replace your base damage with 5 instead of 1, so it can 5x your hit. You can regain 5 fighting spirit using that, so 5 health. You can reset your uses of status effects or to 0. So if you use your status effects or your power-ups and you've used all 3 or you've used all 2, you can use your Heroic Surge to reset those. You can reset your fatigue to 0, which is something we'll talk about in a minute. Or you can also do things like gain a permanent action. Let's say you've got 3 actions per turn. You can spend your Heroic Surge to permanently give yourself another action, making it 4. So, okay. In terms of adrenaline and fatigue, the next components here. I feel like I'm giving a lecture.
Keep going then.
Okay, cool. Okay, adrenaline.
Would you
and
like me to
fatigue.
take over,
No,
or are you good?
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. So adrenaline, this is a really fun mechanic
He's
that
fatigued
we
right
have
now.
going on, guys, is that every nat 20 that gets rolled, you gain 1 fighting spirit. When you roll 3 nat 20s in a game, they don't have to be consecutive. When you rolled 3 nat 20s, on your third nat 20, you gain a fatigue. So it's kind of a mentality of like, you've exerted yourself so much, you've got so much adrenaline that it has then given you a point of fatigue or like exhaustion, that kind of mechanic. So you can succeed too hard in this game, and in fact, you can nat 20 your way into the grave.
Yes.
And I will explain that in a second. So on the opposite side, fatigue, when you roll a nat 1, you will lose a fighting spirit, so you lose a health, and then you gain a fatigue. If you gain 5 fatigues, you are dead. That is it. 5
Another
fatigues
way to
equals death. So
the bucket.
you can have 4 fatigues, roll a third nat 20 on a successful hit, and then die. Your heart will just give out in your chest. I think it's really fun thematically. I think it's really fun way to like kind of capture that, that full on exertion of a fighting. So that is, so players will have to mitigate their fatigue. You can get rid of fatigue using your Heroic Surge. You can also use an action to clear your fatigue by, every action will clear 1 fatigue. Every action you can give yourself health by, increasing your fighting spirit. So it's a fun kind of rule set. And then we have a few situational rules. So you can choose to spend all 3 of your status effects at one time to inflict a permanent status effect. So something like chopping off an arm. Mm-hmm. That's kind of using all 3 in one shot. And the only way that can be cleared is with a Heroic Surge. So you're kind of forcing them to use a Heroic Surge or take a point of damage every single round permanently. Combos. We wanted to style this after a fighting game, so every third consecutive hit. So if you deal 3 hits in a row, on the third hit, you deal 1 extra damage to the fighting spirit. So
we're still working on the call outs for that. Just like in beer pong, like you have to call like heating up, on fire, like you have to call it in order to work. We're brainstorming if we need to have something similar of our own deathmatch level like that as well.
And then this is a fun one, on ties, rather than our glancing blows that we used to do, ties on a roll-off for attack defense, no damage gets dealt to either player, but both players add 1 fatigue. So tying will increase your fatigue. So and it's kind of that mentality of like 2 players really kind of like exerting themselves, locked up in battle, swords crossed. So very, very thematic. We don't have any box of chaos mechanics in here yet. They will be in here. They will probably be a DLC for the TTRPG. They will be involved in our show. So we will have a box of chaos, which will most likely modify one of your 3 main stats in some way. But let's talk about chaos events real quick, and then I can shut up. At the end of each round, the way chaotic events are done, obviously in our game, we'll be doing them via, subs and tips and things like that. But in the TTRPG, at the end of each round, players can alternate rolling a D20, and you're just going to keep track of the score. Every time you get to 20, so you roll a 5 round 1, a 15 round 2, that's 20. Every 20, a chaotic event happens in the arena. So the chaotic events require a DC 15 metal save. It's always a 15. It's always metal. That's the only save in the game pretty much, unless your DM decides to rule of cool something else. On a failure of a chaotic event, you lose 1 fighting spirit. Whether you fail or succeed, you take a fatigue. And then on subsequent chaotic events in round 2, or the second chaotic event, third chaotic event, fourth, fifth, the loss of fighting spirit on a failure goes up by 1. So the second chaotic event is 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. We will also have some alternate chaotic event rules that will be coming out as a DLC later on as well. If you roll a nat 1 or a nat 20 on these rolls to determine a chaotic event, then it happens immediately, and you immediately jump to the closest interval of 20 on the tally for the total. And then obviously the chaotic events can be played as optional rules. You don't have to play them. Much like every piece of tabletop, and especially in ours, rule of cool reigns supreme. If your table or your DM or whatever wants to throw a rule out or add a rule, allow something that is not allowed, or kind of riff off of the stats and figure out, what skill that would be closely aligned to, that's totally on you. We want people to take it and make it their own and play. So that's it. That's the whole game. That's the whole shebang. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's honestly very, very simple once you start playing. I will even show you. I have our character sheet as well. Our working character sheet. So let me go ahead and show you this.
Ooh.
It's sideways.
It is sideways.
But
I love that.
Yeah, I know. But so basically, the character sheet here is also designed to pretty much tell you what everything does and how to play the game. So it's got just boxes for things that you can keep track of, and boom, there it is. So we'll have a character sheet that comes with the game, as well, and that we'll also have an online character sheet, as Caustic said earlier, that will be that you'll be able to use on our website. That way you can just go to our website and fill things in. So,
all right,
okay.
We're going to take a small break from this and welcome our Raiders from the Grouch Couch. Hello, Raiders. We're doing a surprise stream for this weekend as we talk about our eventual move to YouTube, but thank you for coming from via Twitch on this end, and also introducing the new TTRPG gameplay created by Mudcat that we'll be using for D20 Deathmatch. Perfect for PvP because not many TTRPGs are PvP oriented. So we're doing a run through right now, and then we're going to demo the game. So that way everyone can kind of see how the mechanics are, because we've just had a wonderful lecture about how it works and what it looks like. So here we go and actually creating it. Mudcat, you've got the rules still up right now. We'll showcase in a little bit how we're also building out this character card and how easy it is, and kind of fill in the blanks of where everything is. But yeah, the goal is to keep things easy and to move mechanics out of the way so that way role playing can have center stage.
Yeah, and in some ways it's we have to adhere more to a strict rule set of mechanics, just as a baseline, but that frees us up. Like, for instance, because all actions are the same, whether you're attacking with a sword or you're casting a firebolt, they both cost 1 action. So, you can be a wizard. You can be a wizard swinging a sword. You know what I mean? You can be a gunslinger. You can be whatever you want. It literally doesn't matter.
I don't want to offer any surprises, but in my fight against Chad, I did pull out a rocket launcher.
There was rocket launcher play. Yeah, you can. So
yes.
it's so much easier, while there are like a more hard set of rules than we normally play with, it also RP wise, flavor wise, frees us up for people to just do whatever the fuck they want. And that's really what our show's about at its base, and we didn't want to hinder that with the gameplay. So that's that.
Yeah. So it's all very RPG oriented with this game that we're pulling out. And it allows for the imagination to run wild. So that way it can be character centric first and foremost. And then it also doesn't feel dependent like that you have to stick within a character card or just the spells that have been created, because the mechanics balance it out. It's as straightforward as it can be, or at least as we've tested so far. Of course, tonight we are going to try to test that, and we will try to break it. Dag knows how to break things. I am also going to try so hard to ruin your game this evening.
Good.
Yes.
Well, if
Yes.
Chad couldn't, then you can't.
Yeah. Well, we tried. We tried. There was some alluring of animals. We'll just say that. It'll be shown later.
Oh, also, I didn't say this, but initiative is just a flat D20 roll in case anyone cared.
Yes. Yes. Just say there's a lot of options. Yeah, there's something that can be far more humiliating than a rocket launcher, and in here you can do that. All right, shall we get to making our characters, Mudcat?
Let's do it. Let's make brand new characters right now.
Yes.
Do you want to go first or should I?
I will.
Okay, so you need to choose a bloodlust, metal, and instinct scores. What do you
You
got?
know what? I really want to go more in on my metal, mainly because I want to be pretty defensive on this end. So I'm going to go 3 with metal. That's the main stat that I want to go first in. And then I'm going to do 2 for bloodlust. So that's going to impact my attack features and then 1 for my instinct. Something's got to suck. And my instinct is definitely it, which means I'm going to get less actions but more health. I'm good with that.
Okay. On the flip side,
Mhm.
I am going to go 4 in instinct, 1 in metal,
Gosh.
1 in bloodlust. I will have 5 actions.
Okay,
But
I have 2 and you have 5 actions.
so my health will start at 16 because it is 15 plus my metal, which is a +1. So I got 16 health. You're gonna have what's yours starting at?
I will have 18 health.
18 health to start with. Jesus Christ.
Yes. I will
Um,
have the max you can have in health is 20.
yeah. So my attack will be a +1. My defense will also be a +1. So I'm just rolling a straight +1 for everything.
I already also thought about a character. So if I can share this, because I built it around this, but I'm gonna need chat's help for it. This is really significant.
Okay.
I'm gonna be Connie the cosplayer. And so every time I'm gonna need a new individual for me to cosplay as, and then I'll change all of my attacks around the different cosplay that I put together.
Okay.
But starting out, I'm just probably gonna use like attack people with warble and a heat gun.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm Connie the cosplayer.
Sorry, guys. I'm just building. I don't have a character sheet in front of me, but if you want to see how easy this is to make a character sheet, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I literally just made one right here. Like, that's it. It fits on this tiny little notepad. Super easy to just make. On the other,
Show him the character card sheet again?
I can show it to him again. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to walk him
Yeah.
through it?
Yes. Oh, I love when it's sideways.
Yeah, it's gonna be sideways. Sorry.
Oh, okay. We can't rotate the image.
Well, give me a second.
Oh, I'll give you a second.
Maybe I might be able to do
Yeah,
it.
I'll let you figure it out. In the meantime, I'll talk, as is my ability. So on this, you start with your character name. It's real majestic, real fancy. We like to really spice things up here. Right underneath that are your 3 main stats. All right. As noted, you got your bloodlust, you've got your metal, METTLE. Oh, look at these change ups that we've got going on here. And then you have your instinct.
That's
Right.
not
The
right.
idea is that you can just put those in and it changes. It's up. You're really rotating this sucker around.
I know. I'm really like.
Oh, there we go. We're
I
closer.
got it.
This'll work. This'll work.
That's what I can do.
All right. So you can see you put your bloodlust, your metal, and your instinct. So you can see if we zoom in on attack and defense.
All right. Attack and defense.
On the far
There
left?
we go.
Yep. Under my attack and defense, it has details. You're not zooming in, you're dancing the card. There we go.
This is much harder than it looks when I'm doing it sideways.
Okay. Yeah, so this is our new system. There he goes. He's tried. Where it says attack, you can see underneath it says bloodlust modifier. So my bloodlust was 2. So right there, I also just put 2 because my metal modifier was 3. Then my defense is now +3. So when I'm rolling to attack, I do a +2. When I'm rolling for defense, it's a +3. Straightforward across the board. My metal just goes over to my health. So we have a default of 20 squares. I would just need to get rid of 2 of those to begin with. And then I would have my 18. And then my actions, which are 1 plus my instinct, means that I only have 2 actions each turn.
Yes.
So that's super awesome. Mudcat, how about you? What are you doing for your character?
So as I mentioned earlier, I've got Bloodlust of 1, so my attack is a +1, my defense is a +1, and then I have 16 fighting spirit to start, and I will get 5 actions because my instinct is a +4, so 1 plus that. So I have a 4. We both start with 5 possible fatigues before you die. Adrenaline is in sets of 3 and it resets every third. We get 1 heroic surge apiece, and then we both get 2 status effects and 2 power-ups. And that's it. That's the full character sheet. That's the whole shebang.
And as a reminder, bloodlust, metal, and instinct are all numbers that, as they add up, cannot go over 6. The number 6. So you have to split it up. Each of them have to have at least a +1 or higher number. So you can't do negatives to boost something up higher. That's what helps us keep it all within a certain range of reasonability. All right, just for clarification, you said earlier fighting spirit caps at 20. Is it not 19, or are you missing an extra one? So mine's 18 because that's what mine is plus extra. Technically 19, but if you use your hero point to get an extra one permanently, you could do that, and that would bump it up to 20.
Well, your heroic surge can give you 5 fighting spirit. You can't go over 20 at all.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what they're saying. But technically, as is with metal, because one has to go to the other way, technically 19 then would have been the max.
Oh, yeah. So you can use an action to gain back a fighting spirit. So if I got attacked this turn and I want to heal, I have 5 actions. I can use 3 of them to gain 3 fighting spirit on my turn. And so theoretically, I could here in round 1 start at 16 and use 4 actions to get all the way up to 20 if I wanted. So that's part of it. It's kind of honestly, this is a very strategic game, or it can be played very strategically, or it can be played very loosely. That's what's one thing I really like about it. You can really dive into the mechanics if you want and try to maximize your turns, or you can just kind of free flow it, and it works that way too.
And we definitely are renaming it. Yes, it's your BMI. What is your BMI?
Yeah, what is your
Mine
BMI?
is my BMI is 231.
See, you know what? I purposely made it BMI, and she didn't think that anyone was going to get that. So thank you.
Yeah, no.
You said
by the way, you have tonight's cast still going on as stream shoutouts.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers, though, to Short Nord and Real David Grace getting shoutouts on Twitch
that's
still.
Okay. All right.
What is your character's name?
My character is simply called the Colonel. He's an older gentleman in a white suit.
I know exactly where this is going.
Smells oddly of fried chicken.
Perfect.
What about you?
Well, first of all, right now, as far as you can tell, I don't have any hair. I have it all pulled back underneath a hairnet of some sort to make it easier for me to switch to different outfits. I am just like in a leotard, ready to flip over into whatever I need to do. Heat gun in hand, roll of Warbler in the other.
All right. Let's get this thing started. Let's roll for initiative. Flat D20 roll.
All right.
You want to go first, or should I?
Yeah, you go first. Set the standard.
Ooh, 17.
Ooh, 17. Ah, frick. I'm a 15. Okay, so you get to go first. The Colonel gets to go first.
I say, I will dispatch of you post haste. Let's see. Okay.
Good one.
Thank you. All right, we're just gonna come out strong. I'm gonna come out swinging. I am going to instantly try to pocket season you. Reach in my pocket and pull out a blend of herbs and spices. And
how many?
All of them, all 9 of them, I think.
There are 9. I thought there were only 7.
I think there are 9. I don't know. Anyway, this Colonel rocks with 9 spices, and I am going to throw these into your eye using an action and a status effect to blind you. So this, I will roll to attack.
What's your plus?
A +1, 13 to hit.
So you, okay, all right.
So you roll to defend.
Oops. +3 to that. It's a dirty 20.
Fuck. Okay.
Fuck you. You wasted your seasoning. I don't need seasoning, bitch. I got my own flavor. You back off. Back off.
So for you guys keeping track at home, that's one of my 3 status effects wasted. I still have 4 more actions though. I'm just going to I'm going to pull out 2 giant drumsticks and just come swinging at you and try to smack you in the head. I'm going to do a couple of these. So first one is 19 to hit.
Okay, we'll see about that. Hold on here. +3 to this roll. I don't know if it rolled. It didn't. Let me try that again. There it goes. Oh, it's a 21. You are shut down again. You can take those drumsticks and shove them where the sun don't shine.
All right, I missed with one, but that was only a distraction as I uppercut with the thigh. God damn it. It's a 3 to hit. Come on.
And I counter with an 18. Boom! Shut down every time! And as I'm shooting down every single one of your chicken shots, you can see them returning back even crispier, more fried, as I transform into my Sailor Mars costume, who has a specialty within fire. So I'm double crisping it up tonight.
Well, I see that I have made potentially a deadly mistake here, as I'm going to use my next 2 actions. One to run back away from you, and the other one to defend myself inside of a empty chicken bucket. I'm going to cut some eye holes in the chicken bucket and place it on my head like a piece of armor for some extra defense. So I'm using 2 actions, one to run and one to hide inside that chicken bucket, so you'll have disadvantage on your next 2 attacks.
Okay, excellent.
Turn.
My turn. My Sailor Mars outfit, perfect for defense. Those flame sniper arrows have definitely fried your chicken.
Boo.
It is time for me to transform once again. And in a very Sailor Moon style, I go up into the air and I transform and land back down as Perry the Platypus. Perry doesn't actually have a voice, so I went for the bad guy instead.
Okay.
And I am going to make my first attack with disadvantage with my tail, because I actually don't know anything about Perry the Platypus. So I just turn around and use my tail, go just to whack you on the head with that stupid cardboard thing. All right, that is going to be a 19. Oh! Okay, hold on. Let me see. Okay, no, with a 19, I can't roll higher than that.
Gotta roll disadvantage though.
I know. That's true. It could be a 1.
You still could get a 1.
Oh, frick.
With a
No! No!
Yeah, so with a natural 20, I will gain a fighting spirit, bringing me up to 17. I will also add. I will keep track of my adrenaline, so I've got a check in my adrenaline box. Caustic will lose 1 fighting spirit with a nat 1, and she gains a fatigue.
Also, make sure you check off your adrenaline, because you have 1 of your 3 nat 20s.
I did. I said that.
Okay. All right. Good. Just making sure.
I said that. Okay.
I said that.
All right. You want to do?
Right.
You want to do any more attacks? You want to give up?
Yeah. I have 1 more action, and I'm upset. I don't care that Perry the Platypus has a venom spike anymore. I shed this skin, ripping off my platypus fur, taking my tail and tossing it to the side like a used waffle. And inside, you see Pikachu. That was a terrible Pikachu. Pika! And then I'm going to cast Thunderbolt. And I know this one is also at disadvantage since you used your last 2 attacks.
The first one's because I was running. This one's because I'm inside of a chicken bucket.
Yes. Okay. A 19 for 1. And then the
shit.
other.
You just got to beat a 5.
Yeah, I beat a 5! Pikachu! Okay. That probably went too high and broke my mic, but that's fine.
Okay. Was that a status effect or just a regular hit?
No, that was just a regular old attack, straight up. So you're going to take 1 down on your fighting spirit. You're a lot all shook up. That little, what is it, tub of sorts?
Yeah,
that cardboard tub? It's not
up.
chicken in there. You pop like popcorn. That hair becomes frazzled and smells of smoke. That's going to be my turn.
I do declare, as he pats out the fire in his head and pulls the chicken bucket off. Well, I guess I'm going to have to get serious now, as he undoes his bow tie and unbuttons his shirt and rips open the shirt, revealing he has a deep fryer built into his own body. And as he walks, the grease is sloshing out around. And I'm going to run at you and try to spill this hot chicken grease from my chest fryer onto you. So
Go for it.
Okay. And I'm going to status. I didn't say it. I'll do it on the next one. 10 to hit.
Okay, 10 to hit. I hope you don't hit, please. Come on. Boom! It's a 19. Suck it!
That's all right. I can keep sloshing this grease around. This next one, I'm going to use a status effect to try to impose a kind of a burning oil all over you effect. All right, this is going to be a natural 20.
Okay. All right.
You got to roll a nat 20.
Well, maybe I will. I won't. So this will hurt.
Natural.
Mark it off.
Natural 20. That is my second 20 in my adrenaline. That will deal 1 fighting spirit for the hit, 1 extra fighting spirit for the nat 20, and then 1 more fighting spirit because it was a status effect. And you are now, I don't really know what to call it. You're greased up.
I'm greased up.
You're burning.
Grease
You're covered in burning grease. So
I'm covered in burning
grease.
Grease.
That's your status right now.
Okay.
And I have 3 more actions. You know what? I'm gonna keep sloshing that grease around. I'm already on a roll. One more time. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Oh God, natural 1.
Oh, it's a 1. That's right. You take that fatigue, and you also take that dock on your fighting spirit. Goes down.
Yeah, lose 1 fighting spirit, gain 1 fatigue. Fuck. Okay.
I should counter still, right?
I'm going to. Yes, you should still counter. Yeah.
I counter with a 7, but it defeats you.
Damn it.
You greasy old gross man.
Okay. I have 2 more attacks. I'm gonna take 1. To keep sloshing. 14 to hit.
14 to hit.
Yeah.
Let's see if it hits. You're just sloshing and only sloshing.
I'm just sloshing this grease on you.
It's a tie.
It's a tie.
14 to 14. You try to, but in my majestic form of twirling, I find myself putting in that extra effort, feeling the pressure. I go under the Nyx transformation, and Connie turns around in this spiraling tornado of grease. And I'm changing the order of this because of how this is going to play out. I turn into Ronald McDonald. I have a cute red nose, white hair. No, white. We're going to go with white, so that way it's not as copyright. And red face paint and blue eyes. I don't know what Ronald McDonald actually looks like now that I realize this. I'm just describing what I think a clown looks like. Okay. At this end, but I know how grease traps work. That is the name of my game. You step back, and so we're both going to take fatigues from that.
We both take fatigues.
Yes.
I am going to use my last action to clear away 1 fatigue.
How many fatigues do you have?
I have 2 now, and that is the end of. Is that round number 1?
Yes.
Wait.
No, technically, at the end of my turn, it was round number 1.
Oh, okay. So we missed a roll for a chaotic event. You go. Give me a D20.
Okay. After my turn this time, then you can roll. So it's a 15.
Okay. 15 in the first round. Okay.
Yeah.
We are 15.
How much fighting spirit do you have left, by the way?
15.
Oh, cool.
So I went first, right?
Yes. So now it's my turn.
Now it is your turn.
Yes. Now it is my turn. Ronald McDonald, frustrated that the ice cream machine is not working again. I will try to chuck it at your head, and I'm trying to do a status effect that will make you dizzy and slightly frozen.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to go ahead and use my expenditure on my status effect, and I'm also then going to make the attack roll. Gosh, please be good. Please be good. Not the ice. Oh, sorry. Grimace was. Frick frackers. It's a 9.
Versus
7. That's right. The ice cream machine hits, and you feel yourself become frozen over in this milky Oreo sundae machine thing because it's broken, so it's all together at this end. And then I'm going to use my second action to rid myself of this grease because I don't want to take another health point because of the status effect you threw on me. That's right. I didn't forget. I'm covered in grease and then I shake it like a Polaroid picture and all of that grease flies off of me.
All right. End of the round then. I will roll D20 for a chaotic event. It is a 3. We are at 18, narrowly avoiding a chaotic event so far.
You're pretty
two
bad
away.
at this. Yeah.
All right. New round. The colonel is not pleased with this. He's actually going to use one of his actions to just bubble all of this grease out of his chest cavity to melt this ice cream effect as he covers himself in a layer of grease, and it actually burns his own flesh, but he doesn't care because he's now just covered in boils and blisters, and his suit begins to melt off of him, and some of it melts into his skin, so he just looks like an absolute monstrosity.
Yeah.
As I get rid of my status effect with 1, and then I'm going to use 2 to clear 2 more fatigues away. So that is 3 actions, and then I'm going to pull out a wishbone.
Okay.
Do you feel lucky?
Yes. And I'm going to transform into an iconic pink dress, bright blue hair, red ribbon in my hair, but I don't need luck. I'm freaking smart. I know that's not how Bulma talks, but that's how Connie as Bulma talks.
I'm pulling apart the wishbone, and with a power up and status effect, I'm going to try to stab your eyeballs. First one is going to be 17 to hit.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Oh no, it's a 5.
All right, so that
Wait. Can I use No, we're
you
good.
can't. So that power up will deal 3 damage to your fighting spirit. The status effect will deal another 1, so that's 4 total. And you are now blind in that one eye with your status effect. You got a wishbone stuck in the eye.
3, 4. Okay.
And
all
then,
right.
And then I'm gonna stab with the other wishbone.
Gosh,
just
dang it!
18 to hit.
Okay. All right. That's a little bit of extra damage. That's a little spicy. I will counter with a 17. Gosh darn it, dang it.
Take another fighting spirit to the face.
Dang it.
Now you got
no.
2 wishbones sticking out of your eyes, and you can't see out of one of them. And
it's great.
And that's my turn.
That's super awesome. Okay, Bulma's clearly not playing out for me. All right, you want to play tough? Let's do this, cowboy. And Bulma flips around, and suddenly Connie is wearing a cowboy hat and boots. I don't know what else Clint Eastwood does besides cowboy movies.
Are you making fun of my heritage? Because my culture is not a costume.
You're Kansas City. You don't have a culture.
Well, that's a fair point.
I know. All right, let's keep this going. I know nothing about Clint Eastwood except like he's got a bit of a drawl and plays Western movies really well. So I'm going to go ahead and use that 6-shooter right from the hip. I'm going to do 10 paces, turn around and go and hope that does something.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to clear my... Well, I did clear my status effect. Never mind. We're good.
Feeling lucky, punk? No, you didn't clear your status effect.
I did. I boiled over and blistered myself to melt your ice cream. First thing I did.
Okay, fine. I'll allow it then. Oh, thank goodness. It's a 19 as I take that first 6-shooter. Yeah! I'm going to stick one of your own eyeballs out.
All right. Just a regular hit?
Yes.
Okay.
On that end. But I want to go extra. I don't currently have a status effect on, right? No, I have my eyeball punctured.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, on this end. I'm going to just let it stand, and I'm going to go ahead and take the fighting spirit from that right now.
Okay. You take the one
and
fighting
suddenly,
spirit loss.
You see Clint Eastwood skin starts to turn a little bit more red, and his cheeks begin to get bigger as if he's stuffed a million acorns inside them, and his stomach begins to bloat out, and he grows in shape as if he had eaten a blueberry from Willy Wonka's factory, but he continues to get larger and larger still, and his skin turns to glass as he turns into the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. And I'm going to
no.
try to drown you in Kool-Aid.
Fuck. It's a status effect or something?
Yeah, this is my other status effect as I try to drown you.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So status effect. You know what? We're going to go big with this. Not just a status effect, but I'm also going to go and put one of my power-ups on this as well.
Okay.
We're going extra as I break through your
yeah.
rib cage is the idea with this power. I don't know. We're going to find out. +3. No, that should have been a +2. Apologies. So that's a 13.
13.
Yeah. Oh, yes! Drink my juice! And you just see.
Kool-Aid.
Drink my hot Kool-Aid, brother. And the Kool-Aid Man punches into your rib cage, pulling it open, going straight to your stomach, and will fill you up on so much Kool-Aid, and will then also reach to your lungs and fill those up with Kool-Aid, so that way you are drowning in Kool-Aid, and then I will tenderly stitch you back up, so that way everything's back in.
Okay.
So that's a status effect, and that is a power up. So that is a 3 times multiplier.
3 times plus the status, so 4 total.
Yes.
Yep, I got it.
Yes. Oh yeah! I think that's what he says, right?
Yeah, that's what it says. Okay, end of the round. If you don't have anything else.
Yeah.
All right, run me a D20.
Okay, D20
for the chaotic event.
For the chaos.
Round number 3.
Round number 3. It is a 2.
We are exactly at 20. That means the first chaotic event has been triggered. Chaos. Sorry.
Chaos!
Obligatory.
Yes.
You need to make a. We both need to make a DC 15 metal save. Mine's a +1.
Oh, my metal's a +3.
All right.
All right.
I fail.
No, it's a net 20! Ah!
So with a
yes!
we both take a fatigue from the chaotic event.
Yes.
I take a point against my fighting spirit because I failed. You take the fatigue, but you don't lose any health because you succeeded, but you gain a fighting spirit from the nat 20.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Hells yeah!
And make sure
drink my juice, power up.
Make sure you put a mark in your adrenaline box.
Yeah, I do. I've got 1 adrenaline, 3 fatigue, and I have a total of 9 fighting spirits that have been docked.
Okay. 9 that have been docked, or 9 total?
9 docked. I have 9 total.
Oh, damn. Okay, we're pretty close. I'm at 8.
I'm half and half.
All right. I am
Ooh.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to pull out a it's not a conch, it's like a horn made, like the middle part of like a chicken carcass. Well, first I'm gonna clear my status effect. Number 1, I'm gonna spit
You mean
out,
like the rib cage?
Yeah. I'm gonna spit out the Kool-Aid. Number 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold a nostril and just squirt all the Kool-Aid out of my nose.
It's gonna look like blood coming out.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Gross.
It's coming out of my eyes and my ears at this point.
Yeah,
Kool-Aid everywhere.
You're nasty looking. It's really staining your white
Kool-Aid
suit.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Whatever's left of my white suit is now completely red.
Gone.
I'm going to pull out a harness or the carcass, the rib cage, and like the pelvis of like a chicken, and I'm gonna hold it up to my mouth. And you know that hole in the pelvis of the chicken, where the butthole is. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure. Yeah.
Like a rotisserie chicken. I'm gonna blow through that, and
there are no bones for a chicken's butthole though.
No, I know, but like the pelvis.
The butthole isn't a bone. Yeah, but I've got their butthole bone.
Yeah, but the pelvis has a hole. It's basically
That's the pelvis.
Anyway,
it's not the butthole.
I blow through that butthole hole. And I summon forth an army of chickens with my heroic surge, powering it up.
Cool.
powering it up, heroic surge as an army of chickens being summoned comes to trample and peck at you. This is a huge hit. It will deal 8 points against your fighting spirit if it's successful with the power up and heroic surge.
Okay.
All right, rolling is an 18 to hit.
Okay. I have a. Please roll high. Please roll high. Come on. Come on. Come on. No!
It's a natural one!
No!
So, not only does these army of chickens come in, running down on you, trampling you, pecking at your eyes, pecking at your face as they crush you down, dealing 8 damage to your fighting spirit, you try to defend them off with your nat 1, taking 1 more fighting spirit, which I believe puts you at 0.
It does, as these chickens trample over Connie, the cosplayer. It just rips away layer after layer of cosplay. Darth Vader, SpongeBob, Chun-Li, just until there is nothing left. As a shell of a person, Connie, the cosplayer, stands there and rips off her bald cap, and it reveals that she's just bald. It was just
There's no cap.
it's a bad magic trick on that end. What a way to go. And now for my final cosplay. Oh, I can't say it. I was going to say Amanda Holiday, but I feel real bad.
As you
And she collapses on the ground.
as the chickens tear you apart, the colonel comes over and grabs a piece of your flesh and eats it. It's finger licking good. As he licks the blood off his fingers. Yep. Well, that'll do it. That'll do it for that playtest.
I just want to apologize to all my Destiny players out there. I wanted to go for a memorable ending. I was trying to think of people who were dead, and unfortunately, that was the most recent.
Whoops.
I'm sorry. Anyway, nicely done. Finger licking good. That's
Thank
a
you.
good final word. That's a
Yeah.
good final word. I don't think any of us ever started warming up to get the combo.
You know, I never hit you. I didn't hit you very much, to be honest. I was the only damage I really did were like hitting you with my power ups and heroic surge. Like,
Yeah.
if I'd missed those, I would have been screwed.
I'm a little mad that I didn't use my own heroic surge.
Yeah, do be that way. How
Yeah.
many fatigues did you
Yeah.
have at that point?
I had 3 fatigues, 3 out of 5.
So you would have had 4 with that last nat 1, even if I had missed.
Yep.
You'd have been 1 away from death on the fatigue side.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And to recap, as Lox has put it nicely, so while playing cock, juices were drank, buttholes were plugged, and we chose to not have the happy ending.
Yeah, and this video will never be monetized.
Come play cock.
We've said cocked way too many times.
Yeah, we have.
Although I think they only care about the F-bombs. I think you got like a limit of like 5.
Oh, yeah. Well, playing what? Champions of Chaos.
This was our first public playtest of D20 Deathmatch Champions of Chaos, our new TTRPG that we are developing for our show, which will be available publicly August for you all to download for free, and then we'll go from there on expanding it into the rest of the world.
So we've got a question. So yeah, we're going to open it up. Questions about the gameplay, of how this could play out with different characters, audience interaction. Olmbat, you have a really good question. Does character position play a role in the system, or is that a DM discretion thing? Curious about map usage. So in this end, we're trying to minimize, again, more mechanics. So on this, we're not really concerned with playing like, are they within range? There's the assumption that they are, and some of the maps that we're looking at and dreaming of for season 5 will help reflect that much more limited movement. Think about in a lot of the fighting games that we've seen, we're going to be seeing a little bit more along those lines, right, Mudcat?
Yeah, and I don't know that I would necessarily clarify it or describe it as limited movement, because at the end of the day, in this setting, because it's open-ended, you can describe yourself running and climbing up to the top of a mountain, it'll just be that that person can then climb to the top of the mountain with you. So you can change settings and move as
Mhm.
much as you want, but we're pretty much getting rid of the movement mechanic in terms of so any movement will just be flavor or contextual for the setting.
Mhm.
Um,
Now, remember, as Mudcat did run away, it posed a disadvantage for one of my actions against him.
yeah,
So running is an action that you can take because it does. It takes one of your actual actions on that end. So the payoff of choosing to put running or hiding as an action is that it imposes disadvantage.
yep, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that's and there's this. We don't have an exhaustive list of actions you could take. Anything that is reactionary or defensive in nature will impose that disadvantage. Like
Mhm.
I put the chicken bucket on my head. That's not really a hiding action technically or anything. It's a defensive action, so I just ruled it as I'm using that action to defend. It's imposing disadvantage.
Mhm.
So
But the thing is you have to think of using disadvantage on your turn before. So there has to be some thought in that process. I can't realize like, "Oh, that sounds like it's gonna be really dangerous in this moment. Now I want to use it." You have to plan your action choice to dispense it in such a way beforehand. So yes. Yeah.
will there be finishers like Mortal Kombat 4 or the subway in the subway stage? Any of that will probably be just flavor. You know, if I wanted to,
Or the
just
use of the hero point that does 5 times modifier damage.
yeah. If you can get a kill on a heroic surge like I just did, I described all the chickens coming in like that was the finisher move. So it's really the game is designed to be a base of mechanics that keep things fair and moving, and so everyone knows what to roll, and like you don't have to keep looking for stats. But it's meant that it is supposed to be very open ended, so that your whatever you want to do for an attack, whatever you want to do for
Mhm.
defending, or however you want to interact, like is totally flavor, totally role play. Or you can also do the opposite, and you can just play this like a strategy game, and just say I hit you 3 times, and you can just roll dice really really fast and play like speed chess. You can do that
Mhm.
too. I do that with myself, and you can do it
2
with a
things.
DM or by yourself or two people. Go ahead.
Yes. One, we are not going to be called by D20 Death mashed potatoes, cup of tiefling. That is hilarious, but no. Gator, I see that you asked, will the show still be 2 hours-ish? The goal is to still go past the 1-hour mark. Right now, what we hit 30 minutes in this?
Yeah, I wasn't keeping a loose track, but it
Yeah.
was it was around 30 minutes. But that was we got into the gameplay in our episodes. We've got the
Yeah.
break, we've got intros and outros and other stuff,
We
and
didn't do
just
any character introductions on this
yeah.
end, where we typically have, like, the Grandmaster and the Arbiter have a little bit of a squabble in the beginning, setting the stage. In that end, we also want them to interact more with chat as they go through it, so it won't always have to go to the 2-hour mark, but in our goal of wanting to make sure it doesn't go over the 2-hour mark, I think it gets us to that nice sweet spot.
Yeah, and,
Mhm,
and it's going to depend match to match. Like I think that if I'm being completely honest, that episodes will be shorter. Um, Now that may afford us the opportunity because this is an easier system to learn and episodes are shorter. We may be able to do more often. I can't promise that yet, but
yeah,
that's something we've thought about. But I also think that shorter episodes are better for everybody. You know,
mhm,
I know you guys like to sit and watch 2 hours, but if it's easier for everyone with a real life to watch an hour and a half instead. You
mhm,
know what I mean? Or an hour if it's a fast match.
mhm,
We'll always at least go to that hour. We'll try to push that 90-minute mark,
yes,
or more. But
mhm.
we'll have to see how it plays out. We obviously haven't played this on stream with the full shebang and with everybody in, so um, so we would have to kind of figure out um what's going on. Do you
Mhm.
yeah, we
Yes.
can, yes, to your message.
So there's one, we do want to encourage more role playing. That's why we went with a system like this. Can you just roll the dice and that's it? Yeah, absolutely. And you could just play the numbers. So for people who aren't as RP friendly, this can be a game. It'll just go by real fast. You could have battles in 5 minutes or less at this point. But for those who want to role play, especially with the talent that we've had on, it is much more extensive. And one of the things that we are looking at doing for season 5 is to solidify the cast a little bit more. So in the past, we've gone through the process of inviting new people every single week, which is really exciting, adds good variety, and was one of our responsibilities that we saw as contributors to the D&D space, was to try to include more people, give more people opportunities and a chance to network and get a chance to play with as many people as we could in this process. But as we're going into season 5 and we're asking people to learn a new system, we're narrowing down and we're going to eventually have a core cast. We're still going to have some slots on there where we're going to have guests that come in just for a one-time thing. But we want to have, and we're working on connecting with some people. We haven't done it yet. We're a little behind on our schedule, but connecting with individuals to have them create a character that will be replayed a couple of times during the season. So that way you all get to know that same character and they battle different opponents each time. So fresh RP, but we start to get a little bit more development of the story of who they are, where they're going, connections and hype, and all of that building a history together. So this will narrow us down a little bit, obviously, with the amount of seasons or episodes that we plan to have. We're still going to have a lot of people that involves, even if we just have people come back for only 2 matches, right? But that also then opens the door of how we can continue to build up those individuals, have them a chance to showcase the characters that we've built, and even dream of one day, even if we can't do it yet in season 5, but by choosing to go more of a route of a selected cast of doing character art, right? Animations around particular scenes, because these are characters that we're choosing now to invest in more long term. Right, Mudcat?
Yeah, and just because we have a set cast doesn't mean that those people won't necessarily play different characters from time to time.
Mhm.
They may play a pool of characters. Um, and we're like Caustic said, not every single spot in our season is going to be a set cast member. We will still bring in new folks to keep things fresh and new characters, so it won't be the same people every week, every season. And things will probably change season to season too.
Mhm.
So we're gonna try it this way for season 5 and see how we like it and see how things go. I think it'll be really fun to have some recurring cast members and kind of, especially now that the Arbiter is taking over as the Lord of Fate and like kind of changing things to what he wants them to be.
Mhm.
So narratively it kind of fits for this change of system, this change of the way we do things in terms of the deathmatch in universe as well. Um, so I
Mhm.
think it'll be a good change. It'll be fun, and you know what? If we hate it, we can always change it back.
Yes, yes. B-Town, thank you for all those subs. Before we talk about some of the upcoming things for season 5, I want us to give just a little bit more time if anybody has questions on the rules or how things
Yeah.
played out, because ultimately, when we're in the midst of this, right, like you, the acolytes, control the chat. You are the ones in charge of things. So making sure that you feel comfortable in doing it is definitely key. And of course, once we get this up on the website, you all will get first access. I mean, it's free, right? But first access to play it, right? To give it your own test and have some fun with it and have a wild time. And yeah, Lady Magdalene, you're right, because this will be the arbiter running the arena for this.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be fair and balanced and kind and forgiving.
Yeah, I think so. And obviously things were like chaotic events will be triggered by you all when we play in the show, and we'll have the box of chaos involved as well. That'll change things up a bit. So and then obviously because we run, we're playing as a show. We'll probably even tweak our own rules a bit. That way it fits for the show, versus what you can play at home. But um, and I think that'll be a great example of that at your table you can play it however you want. So,
Mhm.
um,
Stoker's asked the question, where will there be graphics to show the fighting spirit adrenaline fatigue gauges? The answer is yes. What
that's the
that looks
plan.
like yet is what we're working on still in the overlays, playing
Uh,
it around to make sure, and that's also one of the reasons why we are opting for a simpler map and look, because that allows us to showcase more of those stats without making an overall overlay feel overwhelming on this end. So again, and also when that happens, we'll take a screenshot. We'll post it in the Discord too, so that way you all can see it, and we'll call out different things and label it, so that way when you do end up seeing it live on YouTube, it feels familiar.
Yep. So it'll be, that's something we're trying to track down. Currently looking for an artist is honestly where the stage we're in for that kind of stuff. Very
Mhm.
hard to find someone who works in the style that we want, and can do
Yes.
the things we want for some reason. You think
Mhm.
it'd be easy to find someone, but it's not.
So you all have seen we're looking for an artist who can create really interesting 2D style art that plays well with the reroll characters that we are using, since that's our main base for our character art at this time.
Well, and
Like, had
also
any other suggestions?
also is in line with the artwork of our artwork for the
Mhm.
Grandmaster and the Arbiter.
Yes.
So looking for something that's like Mortal Kombat meets Smash Brothers meets Borderlands is
Yeah.
kind of the style we're looking for, and
Those are 3 very different
someone who
styles.
can animate.
Um,
So
just
that's where
small
we're at.
pieces. Yes.
So if you know
Yes.
artists, send them our way. Just make
Hi
sure that
his
they
way.
have
He's the one
send them
managing
my
this
way, but
inquiry.
just make sure they have a portfolio.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, so
Yes.
if you all know folks, then please
Mhm.
help us because
Yeah.
we've been looking.
There's a
Um,
lot of amazing artists out there that do character art. Landscape art seems to be a very different beast, on this end.
yeah. Setting art is very different than especially because ours is a little unique. So,
Yeah.
but that's the plans. That's what we got going on. That's the play test. Hopefully, you all enjoyed that and can see how that will, uh, allow us to still play the game that we play normally, but
Mhm.
in a more interesting and streamlined way. You know,
Yeah.
that's more fun to watch. Hopefully.
Well, and it encourages people again, like, yes, you can pull a bee suit out, right? You don't have to just use the same maul that is on your character sheet. We don't care what you have. We assume you can carry it. We're not worried about carrying weight, right? You can cast whatever spell sounds cool at the time. It doesn't have to be restricted by key elements of that, right? Just make it happen. And that gives a lot more fluidity and hopefully room for creativity.
Yep.
It'll be good.
So I suppose if no one else has any questions or anything, we'll kind of wrap it up for the night.
Uh,
Um,
2 more
Two
things.
more things. Go ahead.
Yes. This is actually a good question. And I actually don't know the answer to this one. If
Okay.
we keep it around the 2-hour mark, will that conflict with YouTube's dumb profanity rule for monetization?
I don't
That's a good
I
question
don't
because I have no idea.
think so. I don't think so. I think YouTube's rule is kind of like they don't like the F word, and you can say it a few times before it gets demonetized, like 5 or so. I don't think the length of the video has anything to do with it, at least as far as I know. We aren't we're waiting to get monetized. We're waiting for them to like review our stuff. We submitted the application
Mhm,
this week. So once we're monetized and we can see how our videos normally do, whether they're, whether we got to clean things up a little bit or not. I
mhm.
think we don't usually drop a lot of Fs in general, like maybe a couple a stream, but I don't think it's like more than 5.
The content itself, though, is adult in nature. Well, and
Yeah.
that will also be a little bit easier when we have a set cast to remind of guidelines of that and hold to it as well.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's really going to change though. We're going to play our show the way we
Mhm.
play our show.
I
So
do want to confirm that we moved to an entire different system just so my castration spell can be real.
now the brand of castration is a real spell. Look,
Yes.
look forward to our DLC of approved spells.
Yes, it'll be great. It'll be great. And that is some of the DLC. Eventually we'll do one for all the chaotic events, DLC for feats that different characters can pull up that will modify some of the things on their character sheet. We also will have certain other monsters that can come in. So monsters like the turkey dragon or other NPCs like all the employees of goblins and chinchillas that work at the Dread Fortress, right? That can come and play a role any way that you want within the game as well. And then some of the character sheets as well. So if you don't want to come up with your own, you can play as one of the character cards for our characters, for our cast, but not
Yeah,
Dolly, not
yeah.
Dolly, but absolutely Dolly at the same
Um,
time.
all right, you said 2 things. What was the second thing?
The second thing is the in-between event that is happening before season 5. This is specific to the Arbiter returning.
Oh yeah, guys. Wow, this is a big thing
Yes.
I totally forgot about. You go ahead.
Yes. So as a reminder, if you have not seen the end of Vythorn's return, first of all, why?
Yeah, why?
Why do you hate me? I worked really hard. On second part. But if you haven't, there's going to be a little bit of a spoiler here at this point. So this is your moment. If you haven't watched the end of Vythorn's return and you're planning on it, maybe mute for a little bit. I'll wave wildly when you can tune back in. All right. So at this end, on this end, though, as you all note, the Arbiter is returning. The Grandmaster is jailed, which means the Arbiter will need somebody in second in command. Arbiter, how will you be finding your second in command?
That's true. So acolytes, I'm looking for a new assistant, somebody who can really help me around the Dread Fortress. Somebody who is a learned individual who can handle the day-to-day mundane things while I am busy ruling over the fate of everything and everyone. So I'll be taking video submissions, video applications. If you want to send us a video of who you are and why you think you'd be a good right hand of the Arbiter, feel free to send those to me via Discord or wherever. You can email them to me or something. We can figure that out. So if you want to send in a video submission for us for our casting call, for the Arbiter's casting call, those will come into play early in the season. So
this is meant to be a fun opportunity for the community to get involved. And if you don't want to appear on camera, you absolutely do not have to. You can hold up a picture of your recommendation instead, or do a sock puppet, or you can play the frog. Remember how many times we talked about the frog on my stream? So you could do the frog and you could have a nice little side puppet for that as well. Whatever the option is, it's a lot of inspiration. And I want to share our inspiration from this. If you all remember Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, one of the extra content pieces is where they had a number of the community members turn in their own superhero or supervillain applications. And so we'd love to have you all be a part of this as to who will fill the second in command slot now that the Arbiter is in charge.
yeah, it can be funny. You can do it as yourself, as a character.
Get your kids involved, the halflings. Again, if you don't want them to be on camera, totally understandable. Sock puppets or anything else is welcome.
Just know that we will probably use the footage to make something fun. So if you wanna throw your hat in the ring and be kind of in the running for the Arbiter's assistant, then assistant to the Arbiter.
Assistant to the Arbiter, not the Arbiter's assistant.
Not the assistant Arbiter.
Yes.
The assistant to the Arbiter. Is there a minimum or maximum time limit? I'd probably keep it less. Go like 30 seconds.
I think you could go up to 45.
You could probably go 45 or a minute, and I don't know if we'll use full videos or we'll like cut them together or whatever. But yeah, just something around that between 30 seconds and a minute is fine. Just give us your best spiel for whatever it is you think that the Dread Fortress needs, in command.
Shoot it on your phone, shoot it on camera. It really doesn't matter. Just honestly, have fun with it. That's it.
Yeah, we just want to have fun with the community and give you guys a chance to participate. There's not always a way for everyone to participate. In Sundays and stuff. So we're trying to look for ways to get people involved when we can.
Well, we want to showcase the creativity that we have in the community. And of course, if you have ideas, but you don't have the means to record it, you can also send it our way, right? Send whatever you come up with our way. And we'll either ask for do you want us to voice it for you? Do you want us just to do it as a visual? The idea is that it's just, again, meant to be something that's fun.
13.5-minute monologue. Yeah, I mean, you could do a 13.5-minute monologue and maybe we'll just release it as special Patreon content.
Just yours.
Just yours. So.
Everyone's looking forward now to Olmbat's 13.5-minute contribution.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to wrap up, I think we're at that point now.
Yes.
To wrap up, we will be moving to a new system in season 5. It will be available in August, and maybe earlier for Patreon subscribers. I might just go ahead and give you guys a little bit earlier. It'll be available via our new website, which will be d20deathmatch.com, which is not up yet. But that site will also be a great place for you to find information. We'll have a blog, places to watch the video. We'll have our merch will be moving there. A specific D20 Deathmatch merch will move there. So we'll have a new kind of hub for all that stuff, and then any tabletop game stuff that we add on. So that's summation of that. And then just to remind everybody one more time, we are moving our live streams to YouTube Live. So Sunday nights starting in August, 9 p.m., we will be live on YouTube. Our 24/7 streams, reruns of old episodes, will continue to be played on Twitch and Kick. So make sure you follow us everywhere. Make sure you follow us on our socials. But, we're going to get together on YouTube Sunday nights moving forward for the live, for the new episode each week. And then we'll hang out in the other platforms for the reruns moving forward.
Yes.
Yeah. So
excellent plan. I hope to see you all there as we continue to hang out over on YouTube. Our personal channels at this point will be staying on Twitch, just for what we can handle right now at this point. Again, we'll keep you all updated in the Discord, but I'm really excited about this. I hope you all are really excited. It's been fun to see what you all have been saying in chat. It makes me thrilled that we're going in the right direction, because the reason why we can keep taking these steps is because you all are equally excited about what's going on here at D20 Deathmatch. So it's been really fun that we actually get to talk about it, because I'm really bad at keeping secrets.
Yep. All right. Any final words, Caustic?
Listen, y'all are the best. If it weren't for you all, we couldn't even talk about even considering the move to YouTube, because we were such a fantastic effort, fantastic support of getting the likes, getting the hours watched here. You all are helping us open very important doors to keep this channel alive, to keep it sustainable, to bring more people onto here. And I want to thank you all so much for it. I know it's not easy, or it's like it's one more thing to have like another screen up or whatever it is, right? Like however you choose to support us, it means so much. I get thrilled and excited every time I see, like, when you all chat. I've screenshotted a number of things tonight just to save in my folder that says nice things, because when you do a lot of work, or when you get really exhausted, it's so important to see the support that we have and keep us going. So thank you for fueling us.
Yep. What she said. Plus, I'm glad you guys are around, and hopefully you're excited for the new game. I'm very excited for the new game. I'm excited for a lot of the new content, stuff we haven't talked about tonight that's coming in the future. That's really, really cool. And hopefully, if you all are, I'll just say this: if you guys are going to be in Orlando for GCX, come find us at the con. We want to meet people. We want to hang out. And if you can convince us, maybe we'll even play around of the new game with you. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Depends how many drinks we've had. So, all right.
We'll do it.
Everyone, if you're on Twitch and Kick, feel free to stick around, because we're going to be booting back up the 24/7 stream here momentarily. We're going to go offline for just a second, and then we will see you all on the other side in the reruns. All right. Have a good night, guys.